Hey guys, I'm so glad you're here for a brand new lesson. We are doing a really fun and easy jack-o'-lantern painting today. So you guys loved the Frankenstein one, and I think it helped because it was super simple to follow, and kids seem to really like that one. So I'm gonna do the same thing today, kind of keep it simple, and then maybe we'll graduate to a little bit of a harder one next week. I was gonna put a harder one today, but seeing as to how many of you guys love the Frankenstein, I kind of wanted to get this one out there first. So let's talk supplies. Okay, first things first, you're gonna need some canvas. Again, this is just ripped out of my canvas pad that I've been using in the last few videos, and I actually cut it into a 5x5 square. These are actually a little smaller. They're actually 4.5 by 4.5, but I wanted a nice big one for the tutorial, so I cut this into a 5x5. And then you're gonna need a bowl of clean water, a couple of brushes. So I have kind of a bigger one and kind of a spot that's still wet. This one's dry, but this one's a little wet still. I was cleaning it. But anyway, so you're gonna need one that's kind of smaller, one that's kind of bigger. It helps to do the small details, the smaller brush, especially those lines. So make sure you have that and a paper towel to actually dry them off when you're done washing them. And so what I like to do is take the 4 paints that you're needing. Oh, okay, it's fine, guys. You're gonna need an orange and a red, and it's really funny because this orange is actually just called jack-o'-lantern, which I thought was just really funny. So an orange, a red, I just have a primary red, and then you're gonna need a white and a black. Now, I did leave it up to you if you wanna add the white or not. I kind of like them both ways, so you may not need the white if you choose to just do the smile. And you just got them on a little paper plate. That's what I do for my kids. I reuse my paper plates all the time. So, but for my videos, I like to get a clean one so you guys can see the mixing process and all that stuff. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sketch out some stuff so that we can actually paint, but we're not gonna sketch the face actually. We're only gonna sketch these lines, okay? So right down the middle, you're gonna kind of draw a line going down like so. Don't worry about it being straight. This is not that kind of work, especially if you're doing it with your kids. Like the straightness of it so doesn't matter. And then to the side, I'm gonna do a curve, and then I'm gonna draw in another curve right next to it. Makes it kind of look like it's a really skinny moon. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Notice it's just a sketch. Don't make it perfect, and I definitely don't think you should draw too dark. Sketching tends to be relatively light, and that's it. So we have those 3, and now we're actually gonna get started with the paint. Crazy, right? So we're gonna jump right in. You're gonna want your bigger brush, and we're gonna pick up the orange and do this, 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 and this. All right, let's go. Okay, so now that part is done. Well, look how quickly that changed just because of the orange out of my cup or my brush. Isn't it pretty? I think it's pretty. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the stripes next. And what we're gonna do to get that color, if you see it, let me put this to the side. If you see this color, it's kind of like a dark orange. And so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take a little bit of the orange and a little bit of the red and make a nice new color to put in those stripes. So I'm actually going to use my smaller brush for this, and it's okay that it's a little wet. I'm not that worried about this part being dry because it's okay if it blends a little bit. So like I said, I'm going to take a little bit of the orange, bring it over here like so, and then I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of that red and just start really mixing it in until I get to like a really pretty darker orange that I kind of want. It could be more reddish. You could just do the red if that is something you'd rather do and not mix. You could totally do that, but I love this pretty dark orange, so that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to take this color and now fill in these stripes. And just like that, we have finished the dark orange, and I just love how pretty it looks when it gets all marbly like that. Look at that. That just makes me so happy. All right, so now we have to do the face, right, of the actual jack-o'-lantern. So it requires us to do these triangles and make his mouth. But the thing is in order to draw that in, we kind of have to wait for this guy to dry. So, because you just cannot go in pencil over wet paint. So I'm going to let this hang out for just a few minutes. Luckily it's acrylic, and acrylic dries really, really fast. So just let it hang out and just go get some water, go to the bathroom, make yourself a cup of coffee, and then come back. And then by the time you get back, it should be mostly dry. And then we can take our pencil, start drawing that face in, and then we're going to paint it black. I hope you gave it enough time to dry. Mine is fully dry. So now we are going to come in and we're going to draw in these two triangles, this one kind of long triangle, and the smile. So what I like to do is just like right here at the top is where I like to draw the two. So you can use like these as little guides. And so I'm going to use a little bit of the orange, the dark orange, and just draw a triangle. And then draw another one over here. Don't worry about them being perfect. It's not important. And then that middle one I like to do just along the main line going down the middle. So there are my eyes and my nose. And then following again these two, I'm going to draw a curve. I'm going to draw a deeper curve to do that smile. You guys see that? And that's it. And now we are going to paint those black. And there you have it. So now we've done the black part. Now at this point it's totally up to you. You can leave it like this, which I actually really, really like. It's just plain and simple and just so cute. Or you can wait for the black to dry and you can go in and add in like the holes basically, but it kind of looks like teeth here. So it's up to you. I will say if you don't have white, you can also use orange and just do it so it looks like it's part of the pumpkin, if that makes sense. So that is also an option, but in order to do either of those things, you've got to let that black dry because it's really, really wet, as you can see. So we're going to let that hang out just for another few minutes before we attempt the white. All right, it's now time to do these. Now, you know what I just decided, just on a whim completely, which was totally unplanned given I had poured the white. Because you can see the white here, I think I'm actually going to do his teeth in orange. So you can actually see the difference because you can see it here in white. And so I'm going to actually show it to you with the orange. And that way you can really tell which way you'd rather go. So we're just going to pick up some orange. And the key here is to not be too perfect with it. And just kind of draw in little squares. You might need to double up on some paint here because again, we are going with a lighter color over black. So you may need a couple of coats. So just keep that in mind. So there we go. So cute in orange, right? So let's do another one down here. And I'm just going to keep kind of drawing these little squares into his mouth to make it look like he's got little teeth. Basically it. I mean, you you can see, I mean, I would go over these obviously a little bit more with the orange, but I figured you guys can do that on your own and be able to see it. But I kind of like both. I also really like it just without any of the teeth. I just love them all. I hope that was fun for you guys and kind of a fun, easy project. I'm definitely going to do this with my kids as well, like I kind of did with the Frankenstein. So I hope you guys will attempt it. Definitely a good project to do with kids. And I also want to say while you guys, excuse me, while you guys are here, that if you don't have paint, this is also doable, which is crayons and markers and things like that. You could easily do, you know, the orange here, do a red here, color in the black. Of course, you can't go over the crayon, so you'd have to draw in everything, color it in as you went, versus what we did initially where we just painted everything and then came in with the black. You couldn't do that using markers and crayons, but totally another project you could do using other utensils. So if you don't have to paint, don't let that deter you. But I will see you guys next week for more lessons. Bye.